audience, we can talk.
Cotton in the morning, because I thought I can't stand it.
Fence for himself.
I'd like to call this council budget meeting to order. Before we get started, Frank, you want to sit up here?
I'm good there. I just got that.
So before we get started, council has
Mine is now.
so you want me to start over?
You can start. I can hear you filming.
So before we get started, we had asked you to prepare a budget for council, and we're still waiting on that budget. So we have really nothing tonight to discuss with the police unless you prepared one. You're going to give it to us now.
Well, I had a couple of conversations with Mr. Dillon. I talked about certain.
Why don't you're going to need a microphone. So, Matt, where can we put the mayor-elect? You want to give him that when he can sit there?
Make sure it's on, Greg.
So I had a couple of conversations with Mr. Dillon, and we went over certain things in the budget, like salary, I asked about cars, any other large purchases we were supposed to make. And he alluded to me that there was nothing that I needed to prepare for him to post. What I did send in was the request. I did some research on the body cameras, and I requested that council consider either contacting the person. Sorry, can you speak closer to the microphone? Sure. Contact, I guess it's the RDA who's doing the grant for that. So I sent a
Yeah, we
letter
have
in.
that in our packet.
Yeah, that was the only thing I was led to believe that I needed to do after
Well, I'm
talking to Mr.
confused
Dillon.
because I've been meeting with Jim and Angie for over a month, and every time we talked, they said you never presented a budget yet. So we're at an impasse right now because we didn't want to make a police budget for you because I know you had a lot of things that you wanted to try to implement and things that you discussed. So we didn't want to say, well, here's your budget, live with it. We want you to make a budget. We want you to put in, because right now the budget calls for 10 full-time police officers and 9 part-time officers on page 1, right in the beginning.
I was under the impression, again, talking with Mr. Dillon, that was already set for 2026.
No.
Like, okay, well then,
So we,
My understanding, we were waiting for you to tell us what you wanted. I told you what was going to be in the budget, normally.
okay.
And you also asked about how many cars do we have to put in the budget. I said, no, the RDA has been buying our cars for years, so it's no cost to the taxpayers. So,
Well, then it's my misinformation because I felt that number of 10 full-time officers and 9 part-time officers was the standard that the borough had been using for the past, I don't know how many years, I
that's
guess.
what we have right
Police
now.
contract, right?
Well, I mean,
I could have you a proposal for the next meeting if you want.
well, we'd like you to present a budget that, I mean, right now we're 1.75 million shortfall. We got to make some decisions on either increasing income, decreasing expenses. But, again, we don't think it's fair to you because you made a lot of comments
Well,
throughout.
what comments are you talking about?
Well, you keep saying that we're understaffed and overworked.
I believe we are.
Well, and we disagree with that.
Well, and I understand
And I
that.
think we could discuss that tonight if you want to,
Sure.
because the reason you're saying that we're overworked and understaffed. That's been your message,
Yes, it was.
correct? The reason guys are working, it's because it's to pad their pensions. They don't have to work. They choose to work. You're aware of that, correct?
That's partially the reason they're working, and there have been times also where they were forced to work because they couldn't get somebody else to fill in the shift, so somebody had to stay.
So the way the contract's written, and I'm sure because you got the contract,
Oh, yeah, I got
what
it.
it says is you have to offer overtime first to a full-time officer.
Yes,
If they decline, then it goes to a part-time officer, correct?
yep.
Okay, so,
Well, according to the contract, correct.
okay, so the full-time officer chooses, and I want to use that word, he chooses to work the overtime. So for you to say they're overworked, they're not overworked. They're overworked because they choose to work the overtime.
Well, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
If they go through the protocol and they make all the calls for somebody to fill in, and nobody will.
We got a ton of
and
part-timers.
But there have been times when full-time officers haven't worked because they couldn't get anybody.
No. Chief, is
I'd
that,
like to know from the chief that's.
Lorraine, let me,
I'm sorry. I
please,
just
let me
wanna
deal
know.
with this. Chief, are you saying that we force people to work?
I've never forced anybody to work, and I've never denied anybody their time off. since I've
Because
been-
we asked you numerous times in executive session about forcing people to work. And you always said to this council that the full-timers choose to work this. So when they say, oh, we worked 16 straight hours, we did this, we did that, it's because they elected to do that. Because there's a ton of part-timers that would love to work.
Correct. The full-timers sign up and it gets assigned by seniority because the contract says you have to offer the full-timers the open shifts first. If no full-timer signs up for the shift, then I can assign a part-timer to the shift.
So are you aware of this?
Are you saying that there's never been a time where they couldn't get somebody to come in, that they had to work?
Well, around the holidays, I helped out a little bit. You know
But
what
it
I mean?
happens.
No,
Not
it
rare,
doesn't-
could
it
be.
doesn't happen.
No.
It's very rare. It doesn't happen. They choose to work the overtime. If somebody sits out in the middle of the night for an hour before the midnight shift, sometimes somebody's got to stay an hour or two till we get somebody to come in. But everything is voluntary. They're allowed to work 3 16-hour shifts in a row per the collective bargaining agreement. And after three, I shut it down for safety reasons.
And that's been a concern with all of council, because council keeps saying, why does the mayor-elect keep saying that we're understaffed and overworked? It's not a true statement. And as far as our police protection and our crime, it's the lowest it's ever been. So to make a statement that crime is running rapid throughout town,
Did I ever say that?
well,
I didn't say anything about crime.
well, you know, Frank, we all want to work together.
I do,
You know,
I do.
but we're not gonna sit here and if you make a statement that cops are overworked and we're understaffed, it's not a true statement. That's when we're gonna have a problem. But we have part-timers that wanna work. And we think that the town's a lot safer by putting more people on the street.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
we'll get into them numbers anytime you want. But, we always ask the chief, are you forcing people to work? No. Because we hear it on, my husband worked 3 straight shifts, or my husband worked 2, well, he worked 2 shifts because he wanted to. Because you know how the pension works, you get a pension from here. You know what I'm saying? So they take their last 3 years, their highest number. And so some of these guys are gonna walk away with $100,000 a year in pension. Just their pension, $100,000 a year. So we're not overworked and we're not understaffed. I think we need to get that resolved. And as far as the budget, that's why we want you to prepare a budget. And I didn't know that, I don't know with Jim with this statements, but,
Well, Mr. Dillon knows, he was there, we sat, we discussed.
well,
was under the
I talked to
impression-
Jim, he said he talked to you for 2 or 3 minutes. So I don't know where, now we gotta, it's being it's confusing.
Well, it was more than 2 or 3 minutes that I
Maybe
sat.
5 or 6, just general conversation. He asked me questions, I answered them.
All right.
But I did ask for a copy of his proposed budget so I could put it before council. I think I asked it in writing a couple of times.
All right, so hopefully if we meet Wednesday, you'll have a budget for us.
Well, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Are we moving towards a part-time police department, or are we still interested in maintaining full-time officers?
I think we need to move more towards a part-time police department, my opinion only. And it's a discussion we could have, and I could explain that to you why I feel that way. I mean, we could do it tonight, or we could do it next time we meet.
It does, if you want to discuss it now, I'm willing to discuss it.
Well,
I don't want to hold you folks up, because.
No, let me just,
If I didn't have my end of the bargain done here.
I'm gonna come out there because I have something for you on the screen. So I didn't put the officer's name in, I put a number, we have 10 officers. If you take their W-2, their medical and their pension, that's what they made in 20. So I didn't put their names up there for you.
I think he said the other one, I don't know.
Oh, okay. So I didn't put their names up there for you, I put their numbers, because I didn't want to, but it's public record, anybody can find out. So if you take 24, their actual numbers, how much each cop cost this borough and the taxpayers? 263,000, 192,000, 232,000. When I ask people on the street, how much you think a cop makes in Bristol Borough? You know what their answer is? What do you think it was? Maybe 60, 70,000?
That's probably what they say.
Did you realize how much they're making?
Oh, absolutely.
And you know most of that comes from overtime? But here's the other thing, Frank. In 26, with their medical and pension, without 1 day of overtime, for us to hire one cop, it's $188,000, 190, depending on sergeant and all that stuff. $1.9 million.
Is that based on starting salary, or is that?
That's their
based
salary.
on- So starting salary, what's starting salary?
That's the 10 cops that are here.
No, I'm saying that you mentioned about hiring another officer.
You hire
What would
another
the base
officer.
salary and that number be?
Can I say something?
Yes.
So 2026 W-2, the last column, that's their salary, anything that's in their contract, longevity, payroll increment, clothing allowance, that's part of their salary, so that's in that.
I understand that.
Without any overtime, so,
But my question is, a rookie police officer is not going to have the same same salary as an officer that's been here for 10 years or 15
But
years.
what is it, 5 years, they go to top of the scale?
We don't have a salary scale because the arbitrator didn't put a salary scale in there in the contract last time, so we have no salary scale to hire full-time officers.
But based on if it's this scale, that's what it costs.
Well, for the officers that are here,
The 10 officers that are here. So if you hire, you're gonna save so much an hour, maybe if they give you the tier 2, which they fought the last contract to get out. So if you wanna hire 2 or 3 cops, you're talking $1 million. Now, you could hire a part-time cop, and I got them numbers for you. I'm glad we're discussing this tonight.
Ralph, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
How is it determined a new police officer salary if we don't have the salary pay scale?
it's either gotta be determined through negotiations or through the arbitrator, and the arbitrator dropped the ball last time in arbitration. They forgot, for whatever reason, they put the salary scale in the contract 5 years ago.
So if we hired a new full-time officer, that would be a negotiation all, again.
No, it has to be negotiated in this new contract.
Right.
Or in arbitration. And the average for a new full-time officer. The average in the county for a new full-time officer is probably close to $80,000 a year to start.
So with an arbitrator, we're not gonna get below that number, right?
I don't know.
Unlikely with an arbitrator these days that you'll start less.
An arbitrator will average the whole county and come up with a number, but I mean, there's some that are in the 90s to start.
Right, and they'll also look at what we're already paying people and probably say, you gotta make it competitive with what's being paid already.
Just for example, our part-timers right now make $28 an hour. Based on a 36-hour work week, they make $1,008 a week. So it's 52,000, for 52 weeks, it's 52,000 a year. And they get a $200 cleaning allowance. So you could put a cop on the street, like Frank asked, about full-time versus part-time. You could put a part-timer on for 52,000. I could put 3 guys on for 1. So when you're talking about protecting the town and the residents and doing the right thing, you hire 3 cops. They're still cops. They're not security guards. They still Act 120 certified, right, Frank?
Absolutely.
I mean, everybody downstairs at one time was part-time. You know, we hired them full-time and, promoted them to full-time police officers. But even if you get into pension funds, there's so much to discuss and, I don't know how to say this, but when you work for yourself, I mean, I've been working for myself for 50 years. Nobody gives me any vacation time, sick time, holidays, medical, pensions. It's all on me. So I know what the bottom line is. And since I've been here, I fought to make sure the taxpayers got every dime they deserve. And I fought to make sure every contract, and Joe will tell you, negotiated. We bucked heads all the way through. Same thing, it took 2 years just to settle a street and highway contract, because we wouldn't give in. You got to draw a line somewhere in the sand and say, okay, when is enough enough? I live off the bottom line. I don't live off somebody's handing me a paycheck every week or saying, here's a guaranteed pension. And I got the utmost respect for police. I stood on a corner with them guys, with Squad 5 in the cold and rain and everything. So I know what it's all about. And I wouldn't want to be a cop today. You don't know if you're coming home to your family. So I respect all that. But I also got to look at my job as a councilman and the president of this borough is to protect the taxpayer. They can't afford more taxes in this town. So do you have to go part-time? If that's the way to go, then that's the way we got to go. But an arbitrator eventually, they don't want to negotiate right now. They don't want to negotiate a contract, but an arbitrator eventually is probably going to settle this. We haven't won an arbitration yet. But the sad part is, I don't know where the money's coming from. So like you said, we're understaffed. Where do you want to hire cops? How many you want to?
It's partially understaffed because we've had long-term disabilities too.
And you know what that's costing?
I know.
Here's the other thing. I'm glad you brought that up. You got a guy that's out on heart and lung or workman's comp. Why would he want to come back? He's getting 100% of his salary, medical, paid, insurance, everything, right? And there's no taxes. He gets more money to stay home than come to work. So when we're fighting these guys to get them back, there's a reason for that. They should either come back or make a decision to retire or go out on full disability.
Absolutely.
The taxpayers are suffering in this town because we have police officers that don't want to come back to work. They should make up their mind. And I am one to say, again, I go to work every day. If I don't go to work, I don't get paid. I'm not sitting home, somebody saying I'm giving you 100% of your salary to sit home and watch TV. And are they injured? Probably. I'm not saying they're not. But the reality is we need police officers on the street. And if you're out for 2 or 3 years, then you either should, workman's comp should say, we're going to settle with you and you're done and go out on our disability, retirement pension, whatever, just like we just did with Alan, and you move on. Alan was never coming back.
No.
Right? So if he stayed out another 5 years, his pension keeps going up. And not to talk about him because I like the guy. But the reality is I had to do what I had to do was right for the borough, for the taxpayers.
Well, I think what you did was absolutely correct, and probably could have been done sooner,
Well, we tried to.
you know?
I don't know.
But we have two other guys out. One guy is probably going to be the same route as Alan, I would think.
And we're working with workman's comp, trying to, Jim's on the phone with him constantly.
Let's forecast that occurs in 2026. Okay, that other officer goes out. I'm going to do a budget. I want to know, are we planning on replacing that guy? Because that guy would put us below what we are at 10 full-time officers.
Well, I don't feel we're going to replace him because we're in negotiations. And I think that it's a managerial right to do this. I mean, that's something we're going to discuss in negotiations if they want to sit down with us. We've been trying. Then our attorney said last meeting that they don't want to negotiate on TV. And I wanted to listen to what you said when you came to the meeting. Transparency, right? Do it in public, let everybody
And I
see.
didn't do that to disrespect anybody.
No, I know that, and I agree with you. I love the fact that we want to do this in public,
I have no problem.
but they don't want to now. Why?
I have no idea.
Well, they don't want to do it in public, so they said we're not negotiating. Their attorney said we're not negotiating in public. If you want to give it a shot, we'll try one time privately. So I said, fine, if that's what they want to do, I'm not going to say no. So if they want to do it privately, I'll give it a shot.
It wouldn't be a good move to say no.
I'm not saying no. I already
That's
told
what I'm
them
saying.
yes.
I agree with you 100%.
I already told them yes, but whatever comes out of that meeting, I'm going to make public. You know, just like these numbers. I mean, come on. That's a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, certainly.
And that money is because they're taking the overtime. That's what it's about. And if an arbitrator, you know we're going to go to arbitration, and the first thing we want, that comes out. It should be a managerial right to determine who comes in to work. We shouldn't have to call for, they're cops. They all have the same gun, the same badge, and they're all Act 120 certified. So why should this borough suffer and spend an extra $100,000 or $330,000 in overtime when we could cut that in less than half and put more police on the street?
I agree. I understand what you're saying, but there's also a downside to hiring part-time officers. And I know because I had them when I was chief of police. And the downside is they're looking to go full-time somewhere.
Yeah, well,
Okay? Sometimes I had guys working in a couple different departments, you know, and other guys working a full-time job plus that. So, you know, you're going to regulate the amount of time that they can spend in their other jobs in order to make sure that they're safe when they're working, because they have to be safe. In order for you people to be safe, they have to be safe. And the nature of the beast is a police officer always wants to do his best, okay? And he wants to be there. He wants to work. So he'll work them extra hours to put the time in if he's committed,
Right.
okay? I agree, there are some officers probably that work the overtime for the same reason you said, to build a pension up.
there's no question.
But
They don't have to work. That's the part that everybody's a little upset over. They're saying, and forget you, they're saying that even people on the street, we're overworked. Oh, I'm working too. You don't have to. The chief doesn't need you to work a double. He's got people that'll work. Am I right?
Yes.
So, I mean, to me, making them statements, it's bullshit in plain words.
well, maybe people on the street don't understand the
Well,
dynamics.
I hope they're listening tonight.
Full-time and part-time.
And I'm glad that I know you understand.
I understand 100%.
And, you know, when you're running a police department, you got to make sure you got the best coverage you can. And if I could put 2 or 3 people for one, think about it, how much better coverage we have. So, I mean, there's a lot involved here, but like you said, to get into part-time versus full-time, we're never going to be 100% part-time police department. We got guys through attrition are gonna retire, just like we lost people in our office and our street and highway. We didn't replace all of them. If we did, I don't know how we would afford this budget. I mean, you cannot afford to keep moving forward in this town with the cost the way they are. I mean, we're just, we tighten our belt, we do what we have to do, but, it comes to a point where do you stop?
Mr. President, can I ask a question? When it comes to the pension, which I know is a big part of our annual budget with the police department as well as funding the pension fund. What would be the implication of part-timers on a pension fund? Do we contribute to part-timers' pension?
No, there is none.
So,
There's no health insurance, right, Joe?
so for instance, our projected pension, contribution this year is $688,359 just for the pension fund, is that correct?
Just for police.
Right, that's
Just
right.
for police.
Right, just for the police department on page 5 of the, general fund. What percentage of that do we contribute to compared to if there's federal help or state help for the pension fund?
So on page 2, if you look at where it says state pension allocation, the state gives us $146,644 towards the $683,000. The taxpayers pay the difference. It's a
So
big nut.
we're contributing about $400,000, $420,000 as taxpayers.
And they're contributing 6%, and in their proposal, they want to go to 0. And with part-timers, so you know, they don't want part-timers to work anywhere else. So to me, that's screwing the part-timer. Because if they can't work anywhere else, they can't survive. Which, there's some people that run their own business that are cops. But it's okay to run your business, but then you're telling a part-timer, well, we don't want you to do anything but work part-time for Bristol. And I understand what you said, because you don't want them going to Tullytown working 2 doubles and then coming here. But we know that that doesn't happen. Am I right, Chief?
Yes.
He's on tie, he talks to their chief, he knows our part-timers. So they're not pulling anything over on us like that. But,
Well, I don't think they're trying to pull something over. Like I said, it's the nature of the beast. Cops want to be cops, they want to work. They'll
Yeah.
work as many hours as they can so that they,
and that's
especially
fine.
part-timers,
I don't
because they want to
begrudge-
build up a resume, so they move on to another department, get a full-time gig.
And I don't begrudge that. I don't begrudge them. Look, I'm the head of the rescue squad. We couldn't get paramedics. Everybody was playing games. We're going to pay this. I said, okay, you want to get into a war of salaries? So we put a salary out for paramedics. We got more paramedics than everybody right now. And the Bucks County Rescue Squad that was ready to close 2 years ago when I got involved is now thriving. We have money in the bank. We're solid. And we have all the paramedics we need. So I feel, and I don't want to show my hand publicly, I feel that we'll have one of the strongest police forces we ever had in this negotiations. That's just my opinion. Just like, I remember years ago when you were involved and they wanted to give you, I think it was in the 90s, you had a grant for 2 officers. And you went back to, what was it, somebody said, change it, I want to go to 4 part-timers instead of 2 full-timers, right? So at that time, you changed the playing field, because you thought it was better off to get 4 cops instead of 2, right?
Yeah.
So why would we change that theory you had in the 90s? And things are safer now than they were in the 90s. This town is safe. I asked the chief and he gives us reports. We could go a weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and what do we get, 12 calls maybe? Sometimes
Less than that. knock on
sometimes
wood.
12 or less. So think about it.
Knock on wood.
We got all these cops on the street, and I'm glad we only got, I hope we get 0 calls. And some of them are alarms. Like, what are some of the calls, Joe?
Domestics, alarms, the trucks that are stuck on the streets, just basic stuff.
Yeah. So you
harassment,
go a weekend
accidents.
and you get 12 calls and we need more cops, and they're overworked and understaffed. So,
If I could just add something, just over the summer, we were down 6 full-time officers for various reasons for a couple months, and we did very well. Our numbers are extremely low this year. They're gonna be lower than last year. And I had that, if you want it.
well,
Since
I think,
2021, it's been a constant drop, and it's in half right now, since late 2021, 22. So they're doing a good job.
well, I know the part-timers are doing a good job.
Well, that's
If you
what I
look at
mean.
your reports, you have some full-timers that maybe wrote 2 tickets all year or 2, and you got part-timers wrote 140 or 150 tickets.
Some 300, 400,
Some 300, and what are some of the full-timers?
0 to 15.
Right. So,
And 1,000 hours of overtime a year too, on top of the regular hours.
I think you need to regroup, think about a lot of things, and,
Let me ask you this. You had a promotion just recently. Are there any plans for promotion going forward for anything else?
not in my opinion. No reason to, I don't think. We have our 4 sergeants. We wanted to set up a command with 4 sergeants, a lieutenant, and a chief.
Now,
No plan whatsoever, and I don't think anybody, do you, chief?
I don't, I mean, I heard there's a rumor we're making a deputy chief, but I mean,
That's not gonna happen.
that's what he's referring to.
There's a lot of, listen, if
He's
you
reading too
go
much on
by
Facebook.
rumors, and I don't go on Facebook, so they can say whatever they want to say. I'm not a Facebook person. I'm
so-
here every month. Anybody has a question, come here.
so this is what I should plan for, okay, for 2026. We're gonna have a chief, lieutenant, 4 sergeants, right? And 3 patrolmen, full-time patrolmen.
You got the 10 that's up there. They're not, unless they retire.
Because you took a guy out of patrol, there was 4 guys on patrol and 4 sergeants. And then, are we gonna
We're not taking him out
are
of,
we gonna reinstitute the detective position? Or is he gonna maintain working the street?
It's not necessary to reinstitute the detective position.
and how about the Alife? Is he on the street or?
Yeah, Leaf is gonna be a working lieutenant. He's gonna work day shift 1 week and 4 to 12 the following week. He's gonna rotate. So when he's here, he'll be here.
So
Just
is he-
like you do.
He's following his,
No, he's following 8 to 4, 4 to 12
okay.
shift. 5 days on, 2 days off.
Would that be Monday through Friday he works?
Yes.
And no overtime. He doesn't get paid. If he's here an extra 20 hours, he don't get paid for it. Unless he's
The only
doing,
question I have about that is the feasibility of having 2 command staff people working day work at the same time. Okay, so his hours should be night shift. That's what I think.
I mean, we have to go by, I mean, you got to put a report together for us and explain everything in executive session. I mean, don't forget, this didn't just come up. This is a year and a half in the making of discussing, negotiating Joe's contract and Alife's promotion. So we didn't just decide last month we're gonna do this. This is something that Jeff Garten and Jim, and they've been sitting down, going over contracts and how to, move forward with a lot
It
of
was
this.
pretty good, well-kept secret, because when I had my conversation with Mr. Dillon about staffing and stuff, they never mentioned anything to me about promotion.
I don't know.
It's like a very short meeting, I don't run the police department.
I was with you a half hour at one time, it wasn't just 5 minutes. We had a pretty good
I have to-
conversation
From now
over
on,
30
I'll
minutes.
check my time when you come in, because it wasn't a half hour, I can assure you.
Well, it was a lot closer to half than it was to 2 or 3 minutes. And I do remember you telling me, give it to you in writing, and I sent you the email about the street light that you were referring to.
Say that again?
I said, when you wanted me to put in writing, you told me to put it in writing about the street light that I talked to you about.
Street light.
Yeah. And I did.
Where you live?
Yeah, on Seabird Drive, which you guys
I think
maintain
you
those
sent that
lights.
today to me.
You guys, I said that in the meeting with you. Talked.
Well, I got it by an email today, as I remember.
All right,
I was
so,
on vacation, so sorry about that.
all right, so let me just go through, you want me to go through this, or you want to keep talking about other things?
No,
All right, so what we always do, we start with debt service. So if you look at debt service.
that's one question. Do you need me for this, or can I go home and start working on putting a proposal together for Wednesday?
You might have, you know,
Are we gonna talk about more police stuff?
It ain't gonna take long, so why don't you just hang?
All right, all
Because
right,
we're gonna get to the police budget.
all right, cool.
So I'll go through this, you know, if you go to debt service, as you can see, the borough's been debt-free since '22. We have no debt in the borough, which is a major accomplishment that we paid off all our debt. Jim, at one time, what was our,
Almost 51% of your tax revenue, 20 years ago, was going to pay debt service.
so we paid all our debt off, we have no debt. So that's the debt service. The fire fund, if you look at the fire, that's just, we take in $230,000 and the money goes back, there's $55,000 goes to each 4 fire companies.
We're raising it this
To
year.
55, right? It was 50, Andy, we're going to 55?
Yeah, it's a $5,000 increase for each of the fire companies under this.
Right.
budget.
So it's basically a pass-through, we paid our insurance and things like that. So if anybody has any questions, I'm gonna skip the general fund because we'll come back to it. Recreation, basically the same thing. You see we're taking in, we budgeted 318,000, next year 315,000. A lot of it is for maintenance to our field, street and highway, cutting grass, trees on the path. And if you look at capital outlay on revenues, you can see that's all been zeroed out except for what we spent some money on for playgrounds, fixing playgrounds. They're pretty simple budgets to look at. If you go to the rescue squad budget, what we take in, we give out 2 mills equals $152,000 if you look up top. And we pay out, you can see 151,000 in some small expenses. The special road tax is you can see the millage down on the bottom has been the same since '22. We take in $186,000. And our expenses, if you look at some of the transfers and all. And this is for things that come up as far as like the curbing, maintaining our roads, crack sealing. Trying to think, the handicap ramps, we get money from the county, our CDBG money. So that's very self-explanatory. You go to our street lighting account, same thing. It's 4.35 mils. We take in 370,000. You can see our expenses, the electric bill, where it says electric expense, street lighting repairs, tree lighting maintenance on the path, to maintain our traffic signals. So, and the decorative street lights, if you look in '25, we budgeted 316,000, so if that number jumps out at everybody. That's a grant we got through the RDA and different people to redo our street lights in town, our decorative lights. Liquid fuels is just what we get from the state to maintain, the road program. Most of it, you see the labor, so we charge liquid fuels for our guys to do snow plowing, right, Angie? All the stuff we need to maintain our roads. So if you look at our investment funds, this is important because our interest was in 22, 335,000. You can see it went up because we invested some money. And this is the water money. This is not sewer, water. So this year we're projecting to get 833,000 in interest. We're hoping. We budgeted 520. As of the 30th, we had 372,000. So that's a big income that if we can get that in, that helps balance the budget also.
I mean, if I can just add, if you look at the 2022 actuals, it was only 347,000. So we're on an upswing, but I think everybody knows that interest rates will probably be coming down, so our interest income will probably go down eventually.
Right.
So we've had as low as about $250,000 a year in interest income over the years out of that fund because the interest rates are so low.
Right.
So it's a variable that we really have no control over.
And that's why I always said you don't use one-time revenue to balance a reoccurring debt. So, no matter what you do, you run out of money eventually. It's like you want to pay your bills on a credit card. Eventually, if you don't have the income, you're going to go bankrupt. So you can't just keep spending money and think, we got money in the bank, so don't worry, just use it. It doesn't work that way. And then the last thing is our trash and street cleaning. The same thing. They pay $600 and some a year. Our budget is $2,291,612. $2,358,840 is for our trash pickup. So, and the rest of it's just, you can see, it's just immaterial things that go along with that. But in that trash pickup, don't forget, we got all our street sweeper, our dumpsters down at the Borough Yard. People throw trash out, put it in front of their house. TVs are all over the place, couches, mattresses that they'll throw out, and we got to go pick up, and the guys bring it down into the dumpsters that are down there. But a big thing is picking up the street sweeper. There's a lot of trash that goes into that. So go back to the general fund.
Mr. President, I have a question.
Go ahead.
I've been looking at this and I noticed that the building permits have trended down. Is there a reason why they're trending down?
Well, we're almost built out in town. I mean, Mill Run, all the condos on a river. A lot of them permits are now starting to go away. That's why you see in 23, we had 367,000 in permits.
Mm-hmm.
And in 25, we're budgeting 245. Right now, we're at 220. So that numbers could drop dramatically if there's no more work going in town.
Okay.
So, and then Greg, you asked about the police pension. So the police, we get 146,000 for the police. and $119,982 for the non-uniform pensions. And then we're responsible, and we never missed a payment except one time, right, Angie? Since we've been here over 20 years, and we made that payment up plus with interest. So, just so we don't keep this meeting going, let's just go to page 5 for Frank. So the police full-time salary, we budget in 25, $1,234,368. Right now, as of 9/30/25, we spent $954,875. We're projecting to be at $1,234,000, exactly what our budget is. Next year, we're budgeting $1,003,000. Now, that's just for full-time. Part-time, we're budgeting in next year $250,000, but right now, we budget $230,000. We only spent $146,000 so far in part-time officers. But here's the other major cost: police overtime. We budget $250,000. They're already at $281,000 and projected, this is a projection, to go to $385,000 in overtime. Now that's insane to do, again, they know what they're doing. And now, if we lose it, it's just going to have to keep going up, and we're going to have to raise taxes some way. You can't sustain this. Am I right, Angie? You do it every day. We meet constantly about this budget. And if you look at their medical insurance, it started at $313. Right now, we budget $322. We think we're going to be at $318. But if you look at next year, it's $387,000. We're getting numbers from our medical people that this could be a very low number going into next year. And anybody on Social Security knows that they're taking more out for Medicare and stuff like that. So that number's going to keep going up.
That's only a 12% increase that we budget for next year.
Right.
We hope it's only going to be.
Wait, we're hoping.
Right. And we offered the police 2% increase for, I wouldn't offer 0, but I think we offered 2%, and that is in the 1.3 million. But the pension is, like Greg said, $283,000, $683,000 in pension fund.
And just to point out, in the event of anyone looking at it, I did ask this question earlier, but right now, it looks like we've only outlaid $147,000 of that $688, but that's something
We have to make that payment.
In December, we make that payment.
Right. So the 146,645, that's what we got from the state.
That's the money from the state.
Right.
and then the rest will be us at the end.
Yes, that's correct.
So I think what we need to do is figure a way to, the next page is animal control, all that.
So if I could just ask generally, broadly, I know we're really diving into the police, but our job over the next little bit is to find $1.75 million
Yes.
that we have to cut out of this budget.
Yes. Cut out or find revenue.
Right.
I mean,
And the
I have,
general fund.
look, every year we have suggestions. I didn't want to sit down with Angie and Jim and come here tonight and say, X, Y, Z, or this is what I think we should do. I wanted the mayor to have an opportunity, because I didn't know if he wants to hire cops and figure out where we're getting the money for all this stuff, so I wanted to give him every opportunity to present something to us. He said he'll work on that.
So generally speaking, we're not gonna spend more money, we're trying to find places where we can save.
I don't see
Any alternative?
any alternative, I'll be honest with you. But maybe Frank's got a suggestion, I don't know.
Bake sale?
Pardon me?
Bake sale?
Bake sale, another carnival. I don't know. I mean, I think the biggest thing we need to figure out is we need to get into negotiations with the cops, and we need to figure a way they should be fair to the taxpayers of this town, and they should want to work with us and take the full-time call-in out, so we could call in part-timers to save money. I mean, that's what it's gonna come down to, and I think we have every right, but, you know, we thought last time we were gonna do good in arbitration, and we didn't. We never did good. You know, everybody keeps saying, why do you give the cops so much? We don't. The arbitrator said, right in the conference room, when we sat down, he said, let's start at 3%, and nobody's ever gonna pay medical insurance. So I said, well, what else is there? If you're starting at 3%, and they're not paying Medicare, what the hell, you know, what are we doing here? But I don't know, I think times have changed. I mean, you just can't keep making this kind of money. I mean, you know, where's it end? And I know you're putting your life on the line, but that's the job you chose. You know, when I'm walking across a roof, God forbid something happens, you know, what's my wife getting? Or my family? Or I get sick. Nobody's paying me to stay home. Nobody's giving me workman's comp. The real world today is, you know, I feel bad that people need to realize what it's all about, and they really don't, because they never had to. Joe, do you have anything you want to add, anything, or any counsel, or Jim, Angie?
I just think as we go through this process, I think this council has proven that public safety is our primary concern, obviously.
Absolutely.
And obviously, we wouldn't do anything that we thought would jeopardize our public safety. But also our taxpayers are a priority, and also there's just the reality that we have a big budget shortfall that we have to make up. And so those are the tough decisions that have to be made in the next couple of weeks.
Well, I was hoping that we had something tonight to go by.
Well, like I said, I was under misinformation or misunderstood.
All right, so so we'll meet Wednesday, and you'll present a budget, or you email Jim and say, you know, I don't know. Why don't you look at it?
Yeah, I will. My only question is gonna be, you know, what I had sent in with regards to the body count and the.
So let me explain that to you. I never make decisions on my own without asking experts. The expert I went to is the chief, and to our IT guy, which is Bobby Lebo. I got more respect for, I mean, he knows what he's talking about. He does Bristol Township. We had people come in, we met with them here. They did presentations on body cameras, on GPS, that kind of stuff. Because we feel that we're tired of people saying to us, well, I didn't see a cop in 2 hours. I didn't see a cop come down my street. So we want to put GPS on everybody. We want to know where you are, so when somebody says to me or Greg or Louie or anybody, I was sitting on my porch for 5 hours, I didn't see a cop. The chief can go back to that camera and say, who was on duty? Yeah, you didn't go, where were you all night? You know, start reviewing things. If you're making 200 and some thousand a year, we want you to work for it. You know, that was, I think, had a lot to do with the way things went, because my son said, you need to be accountable for the money you're making. And I think that had, you know, and the chief but that's besides the point. But, I lost my train of thought.
Body cameras.
The body, so we did presentations and they said, this is the best system you could put. The AI system has not been tested yet. And it may not hold up in court because AI is writing your report, not the officer. Am I right, chief? Or why don't you explain it?
So there's a municipality close by us that are testing these or that are going to these, but they're a large municipality where they write a lot of reports. So far, we just exceeded 2,000 reports this year. One, it's not efficient, it only takes 10 minutes to write a report for an officer. So if the machine is writing the report, what's there for the officer to do, number one? Number two, it hasn't been tested. Is the machine going to be brought into court? You know what I mean? To testify to what they wrote? Because it's going to be the AI version of the body camera that's going to be putting the words into the report and downloading them words into the RMS system, which the district attorney's office will have access to them reports right through that, which they will have now without that. After speaking with Bobby and a couple other chiefs, I don't believe that we should waste that money right now until we know for sure that this is going to work. And if we really even need it for such a small department. I would rather if we're going to use that money, I would rather use it somewhere else in the budget.
I'm not even concerned about the $6,000 a year, like you said. I'm more concerned about, is it going to hold up in court? It's got to be challenged. Our solicitor's saying everything's so new with AI that if it was proven 5 years from now and you wanted to, because our contract's 5 years with this, what's Axon?
But we still have to negotiate that in the contract. You're correct. It will be 5 years, but the body cams, that would have to be negotiated in the collective bargaining agreement. So adding AI to it and reporting that's.
So you're saying a cop could tell us they're not going to wear them?
No, they're going to wear them.
Oh.
It's just how it has to be negotiated over discipline.
And the problem is the contract that you have, the proposal you have expires by the end of the year.
Right. We've been trying to meet with them since, how long ago? You were here a month and a half ago, 2 months?
At least that.
They don't even respond. The last response Jeff said was he got a response from their attorney saying that they want to they will not negotiate in public. They will negotiate privately if I was willing to do that. And I said, absolutely, if it gets the job done, but I want them to know it's going to become public. It's always public because it's a document.
I don't know why they're hesitant to do it public, to be honest with you.
I mean, you're close with them, so maybe,
They don't share all that stuff with me, believe me.
but I don't understand why we can't try to get this done. I really can't. But again, I can't force anybody to meet. And now you're going into the holidays. I think, I don't know. I really don't. I mean, if you talk to them, well, I'm sure they're going to listen to what was said tonight.
Well, getting back to what Joe was saying about the AI portion. The AI portion prints out a report that is reviewed by the officer. The officer, if there's changes.
He's saying you're too far from that mic. They can't hear you.
With the AI, the officer reviews the report that it prints out. And if there's something missing in it, they're able to make an amendment to it. And the other part of it was that I thought was a unique feature that we could use in this town is the translation thing, where if I stop someone who speaks a different language, that machine will pick up that language and will interpret for both sides. Okay, and I thought even just for that alone, that's a small amount of money. Now, if it's the money issue, if we can't go back to RDA and say, hey, can you fund this extra amount of money, then would I be wasting my time to find alternative funding?
If you what?
Would I be wasting my time if I went out and got alternative funding just to be told we don't want it?
Well, I don't think it's the funding that matters. I mean, look, if we got to find $175,000 $1,075,000 for $6,000. That's like whatever,
I hear
in the
you.
wind. So it's a matter of, I think, let's talk to Jeff and let's get some legal opinions, because what you think and I think, or Joe thinks, it's about what's gonna happen in court. And I know this is Ben Salem that's testing this, am I correct?
Yeah.
And it's something that,
If Ben Salem does it, then you know that it's,
yeah, well,
they're the number one department in the county.
and we have an RDA meeting on Friday. So, I mean, that's, again, I don't think it's the financial picture more than, I want to make sure that we don't do this and it's not going to hold up in court.
Understood.
I only care about what's going to happen in court, and,
Well, it's a great tool, I think. Police are hesitant.
But we
about it
talked about
first.
that, right, to these people that came out, about the new AI stuff and all, and they really wasn't,
They really didn't even try to sell it to us.
no, they said
Plus,
it's really something that's new, and
just so everybody knows, adding body cameras and car cameras is going to add more work for administration, because everything has to be reviewed. There's got to be guidelines. Administrators have to review a certain amount of time on each officer's body cam per shift. So this just isn't that we're going to throw a camera on somebody, drive around and be done with it. There's quite a bit of administrative work that goes along with these body cameras and car cameras.
The benefits far outweigh that inconvenience.
I'm not saying it's an inconvenience. I'm not saying it's not beneficial. We already know that it's beneficial. We went down that road this past summer. We see what video can do. So I'm all for the body cameras.
well, that's why we've been working on it for, what, a year?
About a year now.
At
We've had
least.
multiple different vendors in, and we've looked at multiple different products. And I think the product that we're looking for, RDA to fund, is the best product out there right now. That just about the majority of the police departments in Bucks County go to. And our own IT guy set it up in Bristol Township. So he's
He's
very
very
well versed
familiar
on
with
it.
it.
He's
Right.
very familiar.
So the difference we're talking about is the AI feature?
Right.
AI and translation.
And Bobby Levo did this for Bristol Township,
Yeah.
so he's fully aware how it works, which is a big plus.
Excuse me.
All right. Anybody have anything?
No.
Frank?
As long as the chief will meet with me tomorrow sometime.
I'm not meeting with him. I'll meet with him in January when he's sworn in.
I'd asked him to meet with me. I told him, sent him a text message prior to this meeting here, and he never responded to me, so I believe he believes that I'm the enemy.
No? I'm not gonna discuss it here. I mean, we all know, everybody in town knows what's going on, so I've been inundated with phone calls. I'm not meeting with him. I don't have to legally meet with him until he's sworn in as the mayor in January.
I don't run the police department.
And I apologize. The man
No, that's
wanted to,
fine.
he ran his campaign that he was gonna fire the chief. I have dozens of statements
That's
from
true.
people that he's
Never
gonna
said
fire
that
the
to
chief,
anybody.
and I don't wanna get into it in
Well,
public.
you gotta look at borough code. The mayor doesn't hire or fire, council
Doesn't-
hires and fires.
We know that. It's not that, it's what you said.
I never said it.
And it's what,
You said you
did
were
say
gonna
it.
go after the
You
chief.
did
I
say
never
it.
said that.
You
Oh,
said it.
yes, you did.
I
You said
never
it's
did.
more
Thank
than
you.
one person,
I never said that.
including me. You're lying.
If holding people accountable for their job.
And he does
doing
a
it
wonderful
I hope-
job, but you
There's a lot of
said
people watching tonight that
specifically,
know,
I am
that
coming
know the
in
truth.
to take over, to take care of Joe Morris. That's what you told me. When you said, will you vote for me?
Who did I say that to?
To me,
I never said that
and
to you.
several people.
I never said that to you.
Yes, you did.
That's
You're
an
lying.
outright lie. You're lying.
You are lying.
I never said that.
No, I'm sorry. Yes, you did.
Did you not meet with me at the Continental Tavern and tell me that I need to withdraw from the police department chief's position, or there's gonna be retribution? And that was in March, right before, while we were doing the interviews for this job.
I can tell you exactly what I told you.
Well, why
Because
don't you tell the
I
public?
told these folks in my interview that I discussed it with you, and I said that, and I told you then that I thought that you had no administrative skills, and that your decision-making skills left a lot to be desired. If you would work along with me, be my lieutenant for 2 years, then I would step out. I only wanted a 2-year contract, that's all.
2 years to make $120,000, you
And
said.
if he didn't do it, you said, you even told me, then you'll run against my son for mayor.
No, that's not what
Yes,
it,
you did.
I can tell you that, I can get Bob Libertor to admit
Frank.
to
Yes,
what we
you
talked
did.
about.
Frank,
Ah,
there's no reason for us to get into this, but
Oh,
you
well,
ran for a reason.
Yeah, I
You
ran
wanted
for a
us to
reason.
give you the police chief's job.
I can tell you why, I can tell you
Am I
why.
Try and
right?
get the
Did
police
you want the
chief's job.
chief's job?
absolutely.
I wanted the police chief's job for one reason, and that was to straighten out the department.
Well,
I
what's
told you
wrong with
back
it?
then
What's
that-
wrong?
I told you back then that there were some issues. That's the only reason why. I care about this police
So
department.
do
I
we.
care about this town,
So do we.
okay?
I think Henry did a good job. I think Joe took a back seat when we appointed Henry. And then you called me on the phone and said, I want that job.
No, I asked you if it would be worth it for me to put my resume in, and
And
you
I
said, sure, go ahead.
absolutely. I'm not rejecting anybody's resume. And Joe said that he waited his turn and we felt confident. Look, he's young. He's going to be here, and that was the reason we went with him.
Look, I want to work with everybody, okay? My reason for running is for the people in Bristol. That's the only people that I am held
Well,
accountable to.
don't you think we all care about the people?
I believe so. I believe so. I really do.
Do
Deep
you
down, I
really think
believe
I'd be sitting here if I didn't care about people in this town? Come on. I
so.
mean,
So would that be that hard for you to believe that that's my only motivation?
No, I didn't
I
disagree.
never once said to anybody that I was going to target him and
Yes,
fire
you
him.
did.
Look, that's what,
You said if you don't hire me, I am going to run for mayor to go after him.
I told you that?
Yes, you did. You told other people.
Lorraine, I
I'll
think
bring
you're
other
lying.
people up.
You're lying.
Many people were told that came
Never
That
said
you
it.
said it. You're lying.
Never
You are
said
a
it.
liar.
Never said it.
all right, so Wednesday night, you're gonna
Round 2.
have a budget for, hopefully, we concentrate just on the police budget. I mean, I
Okay,
guess we gotta come in just for.
good night.
Mayor, will you be able to send it to us before and I'll get it out, or we just go?
Sure, I mean, we don't have to meet again. I'll get it, do it,
Well, I want everybody at home to know, I don't want
I
them
mean, you
to
can
say.
read it if you can
Here's
read it
the
on
thing,
camera
I
if
don't
you
want
want
somebody to
everybody to-
say, well, you didn't give Frank what he wanted. I want to sit here with transparency and say, this is what you want, that's fine, but tell me how to pay for it.
well, I already know that I can't ask for full-time officers. I know that.
Well, you can, I mean,
Yeah,
but I don't want you to say, I'm saying no. You need to tell us how to pay for it.
that's like telling Santa, I want a pony,
Well, at
I'm not
least
gonna
you
get
see it's reality.
Oh, Ralph, I deal with reality all the time. I know that. I understand that. Okay?
It's not that we don't want it. Who hired more cops than us, or when I was before,
agree with you.
right? We're up to 17 police
We did.
officers,
Yeah.
right? And through attrition, as they retired, we didn't replace them, but there was a need. Don't forget, we had some bad areas that we
Yes, we
cleaned up.
did.
And now it's like, it's not a cakewalk. I mean, they put their life on the line. But,
That's the nature.
listen to me, if there was a need tomorrow, I don't care where we had to get the money, we'll go find it to put cops on the street to protect the residents. Because all I care about is police, fire, and rescue, and the taxpayers. So
Protect
that's
our people.
the only reason,
That's
we do this.
I agree.
There's a cost involved, and we need to balance that. It's what do we do? Do I put 3 part-timers or 1 full-timer? Do I pay benefits? I don't have to pay benefits. So,
Mr. President,
Yes.
I'm not able to come to Wednesday's budget meeting, probably because of the previous business commitment that I have to
what time are you gonna do this?
I guess 7 again, or,
I feel bad that I didn't have it for you today. If I'd realized that, I would, believe me.
I tell my daughter all the time, they got 5% over 5 years. That's what the teachers got. 5%. They got a half, nothing, half,
And insurance sucks, super.
and it's short, right, so. All right, so, anything? Angie, you can't make Wednesday either, right? You can't do it early meeting, can we, like during the day? I don't know if Matt can make a day, can anybody make a day meeting?
I
No?
can't. I can't make it that day.
Everybody works.
I can.
You wanna go to following Monday?
I think we're running out of time if you wanna try and pass your budget at your, I think you're going to December 15th, because you'll do, meeting in December. So if you wanna pass it at that time, you're gonna have to adopt the budget probably Wednesday.
I will.
Sure, we can get rid of
You
it, but you want
I
to
can-
advertise.
That's happened, yes.
I can't come, but I've already, I've been through this enough time.
I know that.
I don't have any-
Angie, you can't be here.
I don't have any answers.
So can everybody be here Wednesday,
I can. I might not be able to.
7:00?
I might not be able to.
Make it,
You got a meeting?
Sunday's basketball,
How about Monday?
I'll give you Monday.
I have a meeting Monday, but I'll skip the coming. I will.
So that gives you more time. I really don't want, I want to do this the right way. I want to give you every opportunity that we can to see.
And I appreciate that, I really do.
You
Like
know,
I said,
I don't want to just call a meeting and shove something down your throat.
I don't hold any ill will. I want to work together with
So
everybody.
Matt is saying he's
for the,
good.
for the
Matt
people in
is,
the
the
community.
TV guy is good any day except Tuesday of next week.
Monday's good.
So let's do a week from tonight at 7:00.
You gotta rescue
I
squad.
can do Monday.
You gotta rescue squad.
I know, I might as well just stay here. I got a rescue squad meeting too.
What time
You
is
should
that?
take that long.
What time is that?
3:30.
3:30 Monday.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah, camping out. That's all.
Just stay here.
Monday.
And Friday, I got an RDA meeting.
What the?
Watch it.
FCC's watching.
Need a motion to adjourn?
Watch it.
All right, so I'm gonna
Can we
adjourn this
adjourn this
meeting.
meeting?
Meeting adjourned.
All right.